Now it is the defense attorney's turn at the Delphi double murder trial. Hello, everyone. I'm Brian Conybeare. The prosecution rested its case late yesterday, and now Richard Allen's lawyers are taking center stage, trying to convince jurors his dozens of jailhouse confessions were all false. ABC 57's Annie Kate is staying on top of the testimony for us. She's live in studio with their side of the story tonight. Annie?
Yeah, Brian, Indiana State Police announced Richard Allen's arrest on Halloween Day 2022. Yesterday, Halloween Day, 2 years later, the prosecution rested its case. Richard Allen's defense team now has the floor. Defense attorney Andrew Baldwin, in opening statements, had a single plea for jurors. Please wait, because we have a story to tell.
Richard Allen's defense team can finally make their case in trial that Allen's time in prison was so deplorable, his mental health deteriorating so severely that his confessions can't be taken seriously, that maybe he didn't kill Abby Williams and Liberty German in February 2017. Richard Allen is a man awaiting trial, presumed innocent until proven guilty, yet stuck in solitary confinement for over a year. They called the director of behavioral health for the Indiana Department of Corrections. She was aware Richard Allen was on prison cameras at all times, which concerned her. She even recommended having cameras removed to improve his mental health. This, of course, never happened, and Allen remained recorded 24/7. He was labeled gravely disabled by Westville Correctional Mental Health staff, even given involuntary medication to help symptoms of psychosis. Despite some suspicion among staff, Allen could have been faking. The defense called up one of their legal interns to testify to some of these recordings, but the prosecution objected to them being shown at all, especially without proper timestamps. Special Judge Fran Gull giving the green light for videos between April and June 2023, saying, quote, "I'm not willing to let you publish until you can confirm for sure this is the time frame," end quote. Now, the defense has to verify their footage, and there were only 73 minutes of testimony Friday morning because of all the sidebars and breaks over evidentiary objections.
Coming up at 5:30, now that we're at the halfway mark, why reporting on this trial has been so hard with limited access to the courthouse and no cameras rolling. For now, live in studio, I'm Annie Kate.
We're now halfway through the trial of Richard Allen, the suspect accused of killing Libby German and Abby Williams nearly 8 years ago. But all the pre-trial publicity during the years-long investigation, including a critical evidence leak and widespread social media speculation, led the judge to severely limit access for both the public and reporters, too. ABC 57's Annie Kate is covering the case for us. She has a behind-the-scenes look at why some observers are concerned about transparency. Annie, the judge not making this easy for you.
It's not particularly easy, Brian. On days I can't be inside the courtroom myself, I get my reporting directly from fellow journalists who are breaking down the updates and what they mean for all of you, offering analysis and context and verifying information. It's especially frustrating not being able to bring you video or audio from inside the courtroom, and this can help explain why.
I took this video on October 18th outside the Carroll County Courthouse the day of opening statements in the Delphi murders trial.
It's not even 4 a.m. and look at how many people are already lined up.
Police actively monitoring the courthouse, nearby roads closed for security. By 7:30 a.m., this was the line. And every day of trial since then, it's only gotten worse. That's because in this Carroll County Circuit courtroom, only 12 seats are reserved for credentialed media. The defense, prosecution, and family members have reserved seats too, leaving 24 public seats available each day. So if you want a seat, you need to camp out. And believe me, people want seats because there are no cameras allowed in the courtroom. Nothing, except the court's own internal audio feed is being recorded during this trial. And the media can view trial exhibits, but again, no photos or videos of the evidence, witnesses, or the proceedings. It's all at Special Judge Fran Gull's discretion, and her concerns are laid out here in an April 29th court order. This case has generated substantial public interest and media attention. No electronic devices, including electronic watches, are permitted in the building. Violations are subject to seizure and destruction of the electronic device without further notice. Media personnel are permitted to attend the court session. No cameras, electronics, laptops, or recording equipment of any kind is permitted. The judge denied several media requests to record the trial, including one from us here at ABC 57. And the most recent denied request just 2 days before opening statements. Until there's a verdict, the media is severely restricted in its coverage of the Delphi murders trial.
All TV stations, newspapers, and networks covering this case have formed a media coalition. Now, they use a lottery system to poll names daily for the 12 reserved media seats. And pool reporters are also assigned to distribute their notes from inside the courtroom to the rest of us. So no matter if I'm here in studio or in Delphi in person, I'll have all the latest updates for you to make sense of. Live in studio, Annie Kate, ABC 57 News. Yeah, Brian, the defense is using witnesses to start to poke holes into the state's theory and their timeline of events. One witness saying he noticed a strange vehicle near the trails that day, even going to police about it. A different car than the one the state says Allen was driving, a 2016 Ford Focus. Another witness was on the Monon High Bridge Trail February 13th, 2017, but didn't see Bridge Guy at all. He likely saw Derek German, though, Libby's dad, because someone shouted at him asking if he saw two girls as he was leaving the trail. And critically, one witness, the former Delphi fire chief, who recounted the search efforts for the girls. He tragically stated, quote, "My thought was they were hunkered down, cold and scared, waiting for us to find them," end quote. He was also shown an old deposition where he stated the searchers did in fact search Deer Creek. So why then didn't they find the girls' clothing thrown into the creek, which was found at the same time as the bodies? There was no cross-examination from the state for this witness. Remember, Judge Gall is holding court on Saturdays in this trial, just half days, but we'll still have those updates for you tomorrow. And until there's a verdict, we'll be here daily giving you the latest testimony in the Delphi murders trial. In studio, Annie Kate, Brian, back to you.
Wraps.
In opening statements, defense attorney Andrew Baldwin said the investigation of the Delphi murders was messed up from the beginning. They tried to show that today with one of their final witnesses, former Delphi police chief Steve Mullen. He testified multiple times for the prosecution, but Baldwin wanted to ask him why dozens of interviews were lost or deleted early on in this case. Mullen blamed it on technical issues. He said he didn't even know they were lost until the defense asked for a copy. Through testimony, we learned some of the interviews were recovered but didn't have audio. Baldwin also grilled Mullen about Brad Weber, the man who lives near the trail where the girls' bodies were found. We learned Mullen interviewed Weber earlier this year but never recorded that phone call. Judge Gall also ruled to deny the defense's second motion to bring back their evidence for Odinism, the alternate murder theory that suggests it was a ritualistic killing. Annie Kate, ABC 57 News.
The Delphi murders trial, scheduled through November 15th, is so long that Special Judge Fran Gohl is holding half days in court on Saturdays. Today, the defense played 15 videos for jurors of Richard Allen behind prison bars at Westville Correctional from April to May of last year. Notably, they were only played for the jury. The courtroom gallery could not view the videos. This was done to protect Allen's dignity, since the videos show him naked, restrained, and being subdued. The defense is trying to show the jury Allen's prison conditions were so deplorable that his confessions cannot be taken seriously. The defense also called ISP Superintendent Doug Carter. He was the face of the Delphi investigation for years. He was the one who announced Richard Allen's arrest back in 2022. They wanted to ask about the timeline of the FBI's involvement in the case and why Carter decided not to accept more help from the agency in the investigation. Court will pick back up on Monday and we'll have the latest updates.